Hey, Slater Crusaders, welcome to our special Politics by Faith collapse of the nuclear family. We're going to start off identifying the problem, and then we're going to talk solutions and redemption. That's the plan. So first, is the nuclear family, in fact, collapsing? Well, what is the nuclear family? Nuclear family is a married husband, wife, kids. Today, if we have like polyamory, no. Husband, wife, kids. That's a nuclear family. Here's really the only fact I think I need to share. We'll share a few, but this is the big one. This is according to the CDC. I'm not making this up. This is according to the CDC. Of all the births in America to unmarried women, of all the births, 39.8%, we'll round up, 40% of all the births in America are to an unmarried woman. 40%. I can barrage you with facts and figures. The only one we need. 40% of all the births. Go to the hospital, go to the maternity ward. Of all the women there, 40% of them giving birth are not married. Now, just because the woman is married when the baby is born doesn't mean that the parents are going to stay married throughout the next 18 years of that child's life. So that 40% number, that's just at the very beginning. That number doesn't even speak of divorce. This is a number called the Family Belonging Index. This is the percent of 17-year-olds who have lived with their biological mom and dad in an intact home for their entire 17 years, broken down by race. You can see the numbers right here. Not good. Not good. Now, we don't want to talk about race. We're not going to talk about race here, but just because this chart happens to be about race. If it were white family, like among 17-year-olds, if white 17-year-olds, if 90% were in intact homes and black were 65%, I would say we got a huge problem here. But that's not it. It's not black kids, only 65% grow up with their family, with a nuclear family. It's white kids are 54. That ain't nothing to be proud of either. And 17% for black families. And by the way, that was 2012. It's over a decade ago. It's gotten way worse and gotten better. Unbelievable. So you have born out of wedlock, 40%. Then you have the small percentage of kids who grew up in an intact home their entire lives. But then that doesn't even measure dysfunction, even among those who are married and stay married. If you're watching this right now, and if you can give your kids a semi-functional, intact marriage, you've given them, your children, an incredible upper hand in life. It didn't used to be this bad. Thomas Sowell said in 1960, before the expansion of the welfare state, that's what he points to the blame of this. But in 1960, only 22% of black kids were raised with only one parent. Only 22%. Now it's the other way around. He said by 1985, 67% of black kids were raised with either one parent or no parent. And now in 1960, racism was way worse in America, but the black family was so much stronger. There was a point in our history when the marriage rates between black and white families were the same. Now it's not even close. But again, this isn't about black or white. This is an everyone problem right now. This is an America problem. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He's maybe 50 years old. And he said this weekend, he learned that two families that they've been friends with for a long time, both getting divorced. Same weekend. And their kids are like 10, 12 years old, something like that. And one of the moms, the best that they could get out of this mom about what happened is that she said she made some irresponsible decisions. Jeez. Broken hearts, destroyed lives, and the best you could say is, I made some irresponsible decisions. Christians do this too. They do this euphemism game. All right, Christians will say, they'll throw some Christianese on top. They'll be like, what happened? Oh, I fell for lust. It's like, no, you had sex with a woman that wasn't your wife. You committed adultery. Oh, I succumbed to lust or something ridiculous. Like, no, you sinned. So stop with the euphemisms about what's going on in your life. Come to terms with what's happening and the choices you're making. I made some irresponsible decisions. You had sex with a guy. So my buddy, his son, it's like 12. He was talking to one of his friends, and his friend said, "Oh, I'm going to my dad's place." And the 12-year-old's like, "What do you mean?" And he literally asked his dad, he's like, what's his dad's place? And he's hearing about people at school, their parents are taking a break. What? What do you mean taking a break? Take a break. There's so much broken here. It's overwhelming on where to start. Let me go down this road. We'll start here. Every force in the world is working against you. Every force in the world is working against the nuclear family. And always has been, by the way. There's nothing new under the sun. If you want a nuclear family, prepare for battle. And by the way, not battling each other. Stop battling each other. That's not the battle. The battle is against the world. And this battle is good. You're supposed to fight these forces. Don't give up. Don't lay down. Don't give in to them. You're going to let them win? Come on. The devil wants to break you up. The devil wants to break up families. No question about that. In Matthew 16:9, that's why it says, "What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate." God wants to get in there and separate it. I will also assure you that the Marxists, the communists, the tyrannical forces of our world, they want your marriage destroyed. As Thomas Sowell said, the family is inherently an obstacle to the schemes of central control of our social processes. Therefore, the anointed, the elites, necessarily find themselves repeatedly on a collision course with the family. The preservation of the family as an autonomous decision-making unit is incompatible with the third-party decision-making that's at the heart of the vision of the anointed. Milton Friedman said that a lot of people in America think that we're a country of individuals. He said, no, we're not. We're a country not of individuals. We're a country of families. But even many conservatives have fallen for this. Fallen for the lie, I should say. Pew did a survey recently, and the question was, is society better off if people make marriage and having children a priority? Is society better off if people make marriage and having children a priority? Of course the answer is yes, but only 59% of Trump supporters agreed with that statement. Are you kidding me? Now it's 19% of Biden supporters, so that's a huge problem. But maybe the bigger problem is that even only 59% of Trump supporters agree with that. How can 59% of conservatives be like, I don't know, marriage, having kids? Okay, fine. If that's not something we should prioritize, what is? What should we prioritize if not marriage and kids, if not the nuclear family? GDP? I don't know, what are you talking about? Personal satisfaction, ease, comfort, what else? What are you talking about? What should we? What's a better priority? So we have the devil working against the nuclear family. We have political forces working against the nuclear family. We also have cultural forces working against you and the nuclear family. Check this one out from the New Statesman. It's a progressive magazine. The headline is Pro-Family Rhetoric. That's me, that's you. And it's fascist resonances. Fascist resonance. It has the resonance, has the tone, has the tinge of fascism in it. So if you dare talk about the nuclear family, if you dare suggest that the nuclear family is best, of course, Black Lives Matter will call you a racist. They say that's white supremacy. But also you're a fascist. And their argument was Katie Britt, senator from Alabama. She's only 42. Do you remember she did the State of the Union rebuttal? She did the rebuttal. She was in her kitchen, and she was talking about kids. And she was talking about going to church. And she was talking about working hard to get food on the table. Children, kitchen, church. Here's what the New Statesman said. Children, kitchen, church. These were the foundations of Britt's speech. They were also, according to Nazi ideology, the central tenets of women's lives. Kinder, Küche, Kirche. I don't speak German, I don't know, but those mean children, kitchen, church. You kidding me? So now you can't even promote marriage anymore because Hitler promoted marriage or something? Hitler promoted kids. Hitler drank water too, and I can't wait for the New Statesman to regale us with a think piece about how water is racist. So that's another force working against you. If you want to have an intact marriage, you're a fascist. You're like the Nazis. So we got a lot of different angles that we'll touch on today with some wonderful guests. Including what to do if you're already divorced. I don't know. It's awful. It's awful. And everyone involved already knows it. And listen, we can cutesy it up with fun words like bonus mom instead of stepmom. That's a new thing. But there's just a ton of hurt, which is the opportunity for a ton of healing, I suppose. But it's not to be taken lightly. You already know that. Here's my plea. For those who are still married, but maybe you're on the brink, things aren't going well, I'm here to tell you, cheating is not worth it. Cheating is the least worth it thing in the world. Get your marriage right as quickly as possible. Men and women, stop thinking about yourself. Serve. Women, stop nagging. Men, stop being naggable. Stop playing video games. Man up. Be productive. Be a man. Be an active dad. Women, respect your husbands. Serve your husbands. Everyone, pay into your marriage. Your children's lives depend on it. The fate of this country depend on it. Yes, elections matter, but it all comes down to the family first and foremost. It starts with the family and ends with the family. Everything in this country is working against you. Everyone is working against you, from Satan to the statists. They all want you and they all want your marriage to fail. Don't let them.